Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. It's been a couple of days since I recorded last. I did a batch recording and I had to just check what I was doing. And apparently I decided that we were going to attack this demon army here with our crusader army. So that is exactly what we're going to do. With the Might and Magic system. I didn't mean to skip turn. Yeah, the last time I did this combat style as well. I'll kill less of these, which probably means that they are stronger. Yeah, I should be able to finish them off pretty easily. Leave my clerics alone. Heretics. Oh well, they are dying now. And they are being replenished in the infirmary. A squad of crusaders was caught in a sudden storm from the west. It lasted only a few minutes, but the unnatural lightning, made up of electricity, flames, acid and ice, left several soldiers dead. That is indeed unnatural lightning. The ease with which the forces of nature brutally claim the lives of their comrades has demoralized the crusaders. The outpost at Villareth Ford, which straddles the West Selin crossing and is of strategic importance, has been taken. The cultists are destroyed and the commander's army is able to operate on both sides of the river. Now, I was hoping we could take out... No idea what that is. I was hoping we could take out these, but we'll go to this one first. Penetrating strike. I wonder why I got two moves there. Take out those. Leave my clerics alone. And then die. I'm gonna wait because I want to use lay on hands first. Yep. There we go. The traitors who defected to the enemy's side at Canabras are dead. Nerosian expresses its deepest gratitude to the commander. Okay. the city. Some finance points. And we can't really go that way because of that demon army. I'm not going to be able to defeat that with my regular people. Let's have a look at this river crossing. Hopefully this is a place that can be sanctified. Commander, we caught a suspicious lad on the road. He says he's an ally and he's desperate to talk to you. Who knows who he really is? The young man before you is trembling from his wounds and exhaustion. His boots are in tatters, and if he had any weapons or armor, he shed them along the way. His clothes are torn and his hair is wet, like he recently swam across a river. Blood oozes from the wounds on his chest and shoulders, and his skin is cracked and inflamed from the acrid water of the Worldwound. Commander. The man breathes heavily, and the words emerge as a whisper from his dry throat. My squad. Ambushed. Beyond the river. Help. Give our guest some water and something for his wounds. The knight's wounds heal with the help of a magic potion. Taking a gulp of water, he catches his breath, snaps to attention, and begins again. Yakar Ankel, Hell Knight, of the Order of the Godclaw, under the command of Paralictor Regil Derange. Our squad is under attack by demons far surpassing our number. Without your assistance, we are lost. Hell Knights. Interesting. 5 deities. The good ones, but... So they are kind of fanatic, like inquisitorial... Yeah. Hell Knights. They have supported the crusaders more than once in our battle against the demons, despite their... just questionable reputation. Cannot abandon our allies in trouble. If they really are our allies, then of course, it's just... Anidia looks Yeager over closely from head to toe. I kinda think this isn't a knight at all. A real Hell Knight would be skinned alive for losing his infamous black armor. What we see here is a stranger without rank or insignia who wants us to march to gods know where. Kinda smells like a trap to me. Yeager, who is attacking you, and why can't you handle them on your own? Large creatures that attack from the air. Some are fighters, others are, at a guess, clerics with dangerous divine magic. They looked like stone come to life. I'm almost certain they are gargoyles. Fell upon us from the sky while we were setting up camp, and at our most vulnerable, and they caught our forces at partial strength. Paralictor had dispatched some of our troops as scouting teams. The flying beasts didn't fight us, they just fell on us from the sky, grabbed our fighters and either took them somewhere or threw them to their deaths. We were unprepared for that. Where is your squad now? Not far from here, beyond the river. It's not far for a single fighter who abandoned his armor and weapons, but we can't get across the river so easily. We'll have to take a detour. Even if we can't save anyone, it will seriously delay our offensive on Dresden and give the enemy a chance to prepare. Give me one reason why we should help you. Yeager looks at you, amazed. The Hell Knights are the formal allies of the Crusaders. After a pause he adds, I cannot make promises on behalf of my command, but under the circumstances you must be able to convince our Paralictor to join your army. Hell Knights in our army? That's just what we need. What do my companions think? Companions look at their guests suspiciously. Hell Knights. With allies like them, we have no need for enemies. If it suited them, they'd abandon us to the demons without a second thought, but we're not like them, are we? We have to save them. Looks like a trap to me, but even if he isn't lying, Dresden is our goal. If our offensive is delayed, we won't get another chance to retake the city. The Hell Knights are heartless executioners. Saving people from the claws of demons is a good cause in itself, but these people are doing everything they can to become just like the devils. Shellen, forgive me, but I fear we should leave the Hell Knights to their fate and continue our offensive on Dresden. Do you recall Prelate Halran? Well, picture an entire army of soldiers just like him. Do we need allies like that? If they die, I shan't shed a tear. We could help them. We should help them, but only if they join our forces in return. We could use some fresh blood. Hell Knights? No, not for all the gold in the world. Don't you know what kind of people they are? One minute you're just going about your business, the next you're locked in the stocks and there's a butcher in the black armor standing in front of you. I don't know who these knights are, but if there are people suffering out there, then of course we have to help. It's what we came out to do, isn't it? Crow on her shoulders. The crow on her shoulders, or crow, on her shoulder croaks resolutely, supporting her words. Huh? What? Neneo blinks a few times, baffled. This question has no scientific significance. What's interesting is how the water in the river poisoned by the Worldwound will affect this boy. With your permission, I'd like to examine him, or his corpse, in a few days' time. Oh, we'll take the risk and try to help them then. Thank you, Commander. Our forces are here. The knight points out the location on your map. The situation is critical. Please send your reinforcements as soon as possible. I will go ahead and meet you there. Mysterious elf again? A wounded elf, huh? Well, there were lots of wounded in Canabras. Who wounded him? In what way? Anivia appears relaxed, even nonchalant, but her eyes gleam attentively, and her hands, if by coincidence, are resting on her belt next to her weapon. How should I know? It must have been demons. If the wound was serious, I doubt he is fully recovered from it. Maybe you could point me toward a healer. I could... The woman, wrapped in rags all the way up to her eyes, turns around with the sounds of your footstep. Damn it! In a lightning-fast motion, Anivia knocks something from the woman's hands. An amulet that seemingly appeared out of nowhere. It falls to the ground and disappears in a flash of magic. What's the rush, sweetheart? Stay a while. The commander and me, we've got a couple of questions for you. Anivia, who is this with you? Looks like a spy to me. Not my first time seeing her in the camp. Just snoops around asking the soldiers this and that, and if you try to tail her, she just darts behind a tent and then she's nowhere to be seen. I've been hanging around here for hours, looking all bored, waiting for her to bite, and she did. Started asking her questions, and then you came by, right on cue. With an unnerving smile, Anivia stares the woman, who maintains her grim silence, straight in the eye. Alright, we are going to make you talk now, darling. Who do you work for? What did she want from you? Looking from some elf. Tall, not from Mende, got wounded in Canabras. No idea who it might be. Don't have anyone like that in the ranks. Anivia maintains an impenetrable expression. It's the elf. You will not escape this time. Who are you and why are you hiding your face? You hear a heavy sigh coming from under the shore. Fine, you've got me. We'll talk, but not here. Lead me somewhere away from prying eyes. She's all yours, Commander. I caught her, I handed it over, and now, as they say, I wash my hands of this whole affair. Who is this? What do you want from me, soldier? In an exasperated gesture, she rips the half-mask off her face, and you see her black skin and crimson crimson eyes. It's Kaelessa, the elf you met in Canabras. I know who you are. You're Kaelessa, a cultist of the Skari. That's a lie. Her crimson eyes flash, and she says firmly, I loathe demons, and I'll kill any I come across. She's clearly holding something back, but she doesn't appear to be lying either. Whatever it is she is hiding, her claim that she hates demons sounds quite convincing. You're not lying, but you're not telling me the whole truth. What, was I supposed to pour my heart out? He looks at you defiantly. You have your war, soldier. I have mine. You're fighting chaos and madness, and I'm fighting lies and hypocrisy. But we are both willing to die for our cause, aren't we? Why would Fawn slander you? Kaelus's grim expression hardens further, as bleak and unflinching as the words on a tombstone. You are asking questions that are dangerous in and of themselves. I urge you to stop. The more you know about me, the higher the chances a traitor's dagger will find its way into your back. I believe you. Fawn is in the camp. Watch out for him. With a crooked smirk, Kaelus says grimly, he is the one who should watch out for me. That's interesting. So yes, we now have a new consecrated camp up here. It's nice. The storyteller here?
I'm gone.
Who is this Fawn? I don't remember Fawn. It's been too late. Too long. Too late.
Follow my steps.
Hey, little one. They say you can do magic. An old silver-haired fighter sizes Ember up skeptically, apparently baffled to find such a young girl in the middle of the war. He's cradling his wounded arm, which has been hastily bandaged. Can you heal me?
Yes.
Of course. Ember whispers a spell and touches the bloody bandages. Thank you. That's so much better. The soldier rips off the blood-caked rags and strokes the healthy skin underneath them. How old are you? You're only a child. I have a granddaughter at home just like you. Oh, little girl, how did you end up here? What are you doing here in the thick of it with us? Ember gives him a light-hearted smile. I'm just like you. I came to the thick so that the thick wouldn't come to the other kids, like your granddaughter. Well, I'll be. So little and yet more courage than some officers. The old man runs his rough hand over her hair and she smiles at him again. The crow on her shoulder rubs its head on his hand like a cat. Talking to you takes a load off my mind. I reckon it's not just my arm you healed. The soldier leaves, shaking his head pensively. Ember waves happily, then turns around and notices you. Hi. Looks like your words really got to him. The demon's claws don't just rip up our bodies, but our souls too. Magic can heal cuts and broken bones, but the wounds that hurt most, they have not invented a spell for that. But you know, it's surprising. So many soldiers come to me. They say I bring them comfort, that I give them strength, but I don't do anything like that at all. I only talk to them nicely. I'm just a feather-brained little girl. What if something I say is wrong? I should keep quiet. But I can tell that my words make them feel better. I guess I'm confused. Don't second-guess yourself. You're helping all of us. The soldiers, our companions, and me. You think so? I think I'm just wandering around saying silly things. She taps a scarred finger on her cheek and then breaks into a smile. Right, it must be true if you say so. That was nice. No, I don't remember who Fawn is. Haven't really gotten that much stuff that I'm ready to start selling yet.
Let's head out.
Oh, Thorn. Isn't that the Inquisitor? No, that's Leoter. Dear. There's Thorn. How may I... The elf's pale, beautiful face bears an expression of melancholy detachment. How may I help? I met other elves that looked just like Kaelessa. A gloomy shadow crosses his face. He remains silent for a while, then he says reluctantly, "A few years ago, a sect of demon worshippers was uncovered in Kyonin. They were followers of the Skari, who had been brought together by his priestess Anemora. Naturally, as soon as the truth was revealed, a hunt for these evil zealots was called. They were all marked with the same brand of darkness as their leader, the wicked Kaelessa. The sect was soon destroyed, but some of the cultists managed to escape. I pursued them in order to eradicate their evil, root and branch." Sighing heavily, his lips curls in an expression of bitterness. "It is a great shame that the children of a noble nation have besmirched themselves with this taint. Be grateful if this confession were kept between us." I kinda don't want to tell him that she's around. I think we've asked most of this, and I don't want to do a
Let
portrait
us be careful.
posing. We're in the middle of a war. Okay,
Tread lightly.
Don't need to rest. Well, we might need to rest because of the fact that we need our crusader army to be able to move. Now we have a place to rest up here, which is a lot easier than having to go all the way down there. Where did I recruit stuff? I think those... Ouch, that was expensive. These in here and these in here, and we'll move the clerics upwards towards our other army. Now the question is, that's a demon army. Gargoyles. That's a demon army. Undead. And an encounter. Too big of an area. Okay, so there are some demons here. Babaus. Energy resistance versus acid, cold, and fire. And they're immune to poison and electricity. Okay. Fail to overcome the spell resistance. Okay. Why didn't you do anything? Lan.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
What is your 18? That's a bit low. Cloak of resistance +2.
Cover me, all right?
He should not go into combat on his own. Protective slime. Does have spell resistance versus that as well, but geez, it has high spell resistance. Recharge now. Lan.
You won't survive me.
Should probably get out of here. But it will incur an attack of opportunity. Do I have some healing potions?
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
It attacks her instead. Good.
Out of my sight.
That was a very, very wide miss, Darren. Anyhow.
Go.
Go.
Into the fray.
Okay, so they have two regular long spears. There's a campsite here. No idea what that campsite is about. But before we do anything else, let's cure Woljip. Good. Then let's check out this letter. Note, written in neat handwriting. Come to my camp if you want to talk. I have much to share with you. A friend. Drawn on the back of the note is a map with crossed lines marking a spot. That might give us a new location. Yeah, new location discovered. Inconspicuous camp. Engraved bracelet.
I'm gone.
That is a chasm. That is quite deep. Oh, we don't need any of that. So the inconspicuous camp is up there. Underground hideout. Leper's smile. I'm not sure I want to go in here yet, because as far as I can recall, that is a... I have to go in here then. Ah, crap. Danger and distress rest heavy upon the scales, their measure soaring on the dangerous march to Dresden. The army moves steadily along the bank of the West Seln, scarred with canyons and ravines. Suddenly, a group of scouts returns. Anivia, the leader of the group, makes 2 urgent signs to the soldiers: wait and quiet. She dashes through the ranks to the commander who awaits her report. "We are in trouble," the girl whispers. "The road ahead is split by a canyon. To get to Dresden, we'll have to go down and then up the other side. The canyon is swarming with foul creatures. Vescavors, a real pain in the neck. They won't shy away from our soldiers' weapons, and they've already managed to gobble someone up. Looked like a caravan of refugees from Canarbris that lost its way. No one has ever reported Vescavors so far from the center of the Worldwound. Where did they come from?" Anivia bites her lip. "They still haven't noticed us, but that won't hold true for long. Maybe if we retreat quietly." The commander makes a sign for her to stop. Find out what else is known about the enemy. "Those nasty little critters, they can ruin your gear and drive you nuts with their buzzing," Anivia says in the rush. "They've got a queen, the mother of the whole swarm. She is a right horror, but if we kill her, the bulk of the swarm will scatter and we'll take care of the rest of them somehow." After hearing his scout's report, the commander prepares to convene a council to determine a plan of action. The commander and his companions convene a field council. The army cannot march around the obstacle, for there is no other road. Retreat is far too risky should the swarm notice the army and catch it out in the open. No one would survive. None utters the word trap, but fear hangs in the air. A swarm of omnivorous beasts just happens to be in the army's path. Someone has arranged for this for their own nefarious ends. Rustling, grating, squeaking, humming. Everyone hears the voice of the swarm, though the sky before the army remains clear, for now. How long until it is darkened by the flying spawn of the abyss? An idea, a decision, straight and sharp like a soldier's sword, appears in their minds. The Crusader Council grows grim. One unit must act as live bait to lure the swarm out of the canyon and clear the path to the Vescavor Queen. The commander will rush the monster, killing her quickly before the swarm decimates the army. They will get but one chance. A dark question looms. Who will lead the fateful squad and be consumed as bait? In moments of extreme stress, one often says one thing while meaning quite another. These hidden words often reveal many a curious thing, and what do we see here? Irabeth nobly states, "I am an officer best suited for the mission," but in truth she means, "I cannot burden another with my responsibility." "Caledon sent me." Nura, the historian, emerges with an unexpected suggestion from behind the commander's back. This is just the sort of situation where ingenuity and knowledge of the enemy will be more useful than swords and armor. While she speaks, she thinks, "I need to prove myself." The Queen has yet to disclose her presence and watches quietly from a distance. The commander thinks that he should look into the faces of your companions. "I've eaten so many bugs in my life, it's only fair to give them a chance at revenge. The mongrel Lan hides his fears in plain sight. I'm a dead man walking already. A life such as mine is worthless, and silently he begs for more. Sacrifice me or give me a chance to prove myself. The ones who distract the swarm will need a healer. Sosiel is the only one who speaks plainly. A healer might bring a few through the Vescavors alive." The rest of the council remains silent, and this silence is filled by a chorus of "there are others better suited and the commander needs me alive." Does the commander hear these unspoken words? What will they lead him to decide? The fateful troop will be led by... And I think we'll go with what Sosiel says. We need a healer in this, and I believe he is well suited for this. The commander and his party disappear among the rocks, preparing to slip down into the canyon while the swarm is distracted by their bait. A light-tipped Anivia shows the way. Behind them, the final preparations are being made. Sosiel's eyes grows cloudy for a moment. There are few creatures as abominable for a follower of Shellin as Vescavors, devourers of flesh and destroyers of matter. This trial will not be easy. The soldiers tread fearfully down the road toward the dark edge of the canyon ahead. The rift that yawns open before them whispers, rasps, rattles in thousands upon thousands of voices. Vescavors gather below, but the sky is open above them, and the flying creatures might rise up and attack at any moment. The soldiers soon find the first body, the mangled corpse of a refugee from Canabras. A few straggling Vescavors wriggle inside the dead man's gaping chest. Tiny larvae in greenish shells, all shuffling legs and hinging jaws. They don't seem menacing at all. But then the rasping noise stops for a moment, and a high vibrating note pierces the air with new force. A blur of blackish-green cloud rises above the canyon. The swarm has taken the bait. The time to act has come. The leader of this fateful squad shouts that they shall scatter. The soul of Shellin's cleric quivers at the sight of the streaking green cloud of foul beasts blocking out the sun. Sociel commands his people to scatter in the blind hope that at least some of them might survive. But a vast swarm can easily cover many victims at once. The Vescavors fall from the sky, buzzing, clouding the soldiers' minds with their voices, and drilling into armor and flesh. Sociel tries to heal the wounded and power flows from the cleric in waves, but alas, many of the soldiers have run too far away from him. Their dying screams here and there turn into muffled grunts. The Vescavors don't hesitate to dive into the mouths of the dying and devour them from within. Ugh. Only a handful of those who remained near the cleric are still holding on, covered in a carpet of Vescavors. The rasping, mumbling and buzzing of the swarm paralyze the soldiers' will. Poisonous mandibles cut through armor and bone. The swarm could scour an entire city from the face of Golarion. These modest forces present no obstacle. No matter what strategy the mortals choose, it is impossible to resist the eternal hunger of the abyss. Vescavors are its embodiment, no malevolent mind or terrible monster, but a million of half-sentient creatures who know no goal but destruction. An effective weapon for those prepared to trade fertile soil for wasteland. A chance yet remains for the commander to save his people, at least some portion. What will the leader decide? And I believe that we should end the episode here. It's a good cliffhanger, isn't it? It should be interesting to see how this turns out. I'm not sure if I picked the best choices there. We shall see. I might be losing morale for my troops, which won't be good, but hopefully we can get it back up by fighting the demon armies. Anyhow, if you do have any questions or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section. And for now, thank you all so very much for joining me, and I shall be seeing you all in the next episode.